You know, there are moments in life when you realize that some people aren't just part of your story, they are the reason the story even makes sense. And for me, that moment came when I met her. It wasn't some grand cinematic scene, not a moment etched in bright neon lights. It was quieter than that, almost imperceptible at first, but with a gravity so strong, it pulled everything else into focus. You start noticing how someone changes the way you see the world, how the ordinary suddenly feels extraordinary simply because they are in it. That's what she does. She doesn't just exist in my life, she shapes it in ways that are subtle but transformative. I think one of the most remarkable things about people who truly matter to us is that they challenge our assumptions not by confrontation, but by their very presence. She does that effortlessly. She has this way of asking questions without even asking, of making you pause and reflect without a word being spoken. It's in the way she listens, fully and without judgment, in the way she notices details that most people overlook. And when someone notices you, not just superficially, but in the truest sense of the word, it changes everything. It reminds you that you are capable of more than you imagined, that the ideas, ambitions, and even the dreams you thought were impossible are suddenly within reach. The thing about her is that she carries a sense of purpose that's both grounding and liberating. You see it in how she moves through the world, deliberate, intentional, yet without the weight of unnecessary pretense. It's magnetic, really, because it's rare to meet someone who is so undeniably authentic. In a world that constantly tries to shape us, to push us into molds that don't fit, she reminds me that being true to oneself isn't just important, it's necessary. And I think that's why the connection feels so profound. It's not just attraction or admiration. It's a recognition of a kindred spirit, a shared understanding of what it means to strive, to question, and to reach for more, even when the odds are stacked against you. And yet, it's not only about inspiration or motivation. There's a warmth to her presence that's impossible to ignore, a sense of comfort and calm that balances the drive, the ambition, the constant forward motion. It's in the quiet moments, the shared smiles, the laughter that sneaks in unexpectedly, and that you realize this is not just someone you admire from afar. This is someone who makes you better simply by being who they are. It's almost paradoxical. Someone so powerful in influence can also be so tender in impact. It's rare, and it's why, when I think about the journey ahead, I know I don't want to walk it alone. There's a lesson here, one that's subtle but undeniable. Life is not only about ideas, projects, or achievements. Life is about the people who make the chaos meaningful, who turn possibility into reality, not just through what they do, but by who they are. And in her, I see that every day. I see the reminder that the most profound force in life isn't ambition, isn't intellect. It's the connection between hearts and minds that motivates us to push further, reach higher, and become versions of ourselves we never thought possible. So, as I stand here reflecting on what it means to recognize someone as indispensable, as extraordinary, I can't help but feel a surge of gratitude, clarity, and excitement all at once. She is not just a chapter in my life. She is the compass, the catalyst, the spark that illuminates what is truly important. And that's why when I say she's what I need, it's not an exaggeration. It's a fact, undeniable and unwavering. Because in a world full of fleeting moments and distractions, she is the one constant that makes every effort, every ambition, and every dream feel not only possible but essential. She is what keeps the story moving, and without her, it simply wouldn't make sense. When I think about her, what strikes me first isn't just what she does, it's who she is. Personality isn't just a collection of traits, it's a force. It's the way someone approaches the world, interacts with others, and leaves a mark without even trying. And she has one of those personalities that don't just exist in a room, they redefine it. There's a presence to her that's subtle yet undeniable, a combination of confidence and humility that draws people in. It's not loud or attention-seeking. It's authentic, consistent, magnetic. You notice it in the way she smiles, in the ease with which she navigates complex situations, in the curiosity that seems to constantly hum behind her eyes. Her humor is a perfect example. It's not the kind that demands a laugh or forces attention. It's clever, observant, and unexpectedly sharp. She can make someone see the absurdity in a situation, help them breathe a little lighter, and even remind them that life doesn't always have to be so serious. And that's the thing about her personality, it balances extremes. She can be deeply serious when the moment demands it, focused and relentless, yet in the same breath, she can turn tension into joy, frustration into laughter, simply because she chooses to see possibilities rather than obstacles. That adaptability, that balance, is rare. It's what makes her not just someone you admire, but someone whose energy you actively want to be around. But it's more than just charm or wit. Her intelligence is something you can't ignore. Not the kind that's shown through words alone, but through insight, intuition, and understanding. She has this ability to see patterns, to connect ideas, to predict outcomes without it feeling calculated. It's effortless, yet profound. She listens in a way that most people can't, not just to respond, but to truly understand. And when someone listens like that, it changes the dynamic entirely. You feel heard, you feel valued, and you feel inspired to be better. That kind of intelligence isn't just impressive, it's transformative. Then there's her empathy, which is, in some ways, the most powerful aspect of her personality. In a world that often feels transactional and fast-moving, she reminds you that people matter. She notices when someone is struggling, and she acts not out of obligation, but because it's part of who she is. That empathy isn't soft, it's strong. It's deliberate, intentional, and it affects everyone around her. She can hold space for someone's pain while simultaneously encouraging them to find strength, and that duality is extraordinary. It's the mark of someone who isn't just navigating life for herself, but is shaping the world around her, in both big and small ways. Her presence also inspires courage. You see it in how she challenges norms, not for the sake of rebellion, but because she genuinely believes there's a better way to approach life, work, and relationships. She asks the hard questions, questions assumptions, and pushes boundaries, all while maintaining a sense of grace that makes you want to follow her lead. That combination of fearlessness and poise is rare. Most people have to choose one. She embodies both. And being around someone like that, it forces you to raise your own standards, to reconsider what's possible, to be more honest with yourself about who you want to be. Ultimately, her personality isn't a single trait, it's a spectrum, a multidimensional force that transforms every space she enters. It's the laughter she brings, the insight she offers, the empathy she radiates, and the courage she inspires. All of these elements don't just make her remarkable, they make her essential. They make it clear that life without her would be flatter, dimmer, less vibrant. She's not just someone you know or admire, she's someone whose energy shapes reality itself. And so, when I think about why she matters, why she's more than just extraordinary, it all comes back to who she is. Her personality isn't something you can teach or replicate. It's innate, magnetic, and transformative. It's the reason people gravitate toward her, the reason she leaves a mark without trying, the reason you can't help but feel inspired, challenged, and uplifted all at once. She isn't just remarkable, she's essential. And that is why, when I say she's what I need, it's not just a sentiment, it's a truth written in the way she moves through life and the way she moves the people around her. There's a kind of connection in life that can't be measured, a bond that doesn't rely on shared interests or coincidence, but on something deeper, something that feels almost like destiny, quietly nudging you forward. That's the connection I have with her. It's not loud or dramatic. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks. Instead, it's steady, unwavering, and profound. It's in the way she understands me, not just my words, but my silences, my hesitations, my unspoken doubts. She has this rare ability to make you feel seen in a way that's both comforting and invigorating, as though she's silently telling you that everything you aspire to be, every dream you hold, is valid and possible. Being around her changes the way you experience the world. Ordinary moments become meaningful simply because she is there. A walk in the park, a quiet conversation, even a glance exchanged across a crowded room carries a weight that feels larger than life. That's the thing about emotional connection. It amplifies everything. It makes life richer, fuller, more vivid. With her, I don't just feel heard, I feel understood. I don't just feel supported, I feel challenged to grow. And I don't just feel loved, I feel inspired to love better, to live with more intention, to push harder toward the future we both imagine. What makes this connection extraordinary is that it's reciprocal. It's not one-sided admiration or dependence. It's a mutual resonance, a shared understanding that elevates both of us. She has this way of responding to me that feels like a mirror and a compass at the same time. She reflects back the best parts of who I am, the parts I sometimes forget, and at the same time she guides me forward, nudging me toward growth, toward risk, toward the things that matter most. It's rare to meet someone whose presence is at once grounding and propelling, stabilizing and energizing. That duality is powerful, because it's what keeps the connection alive, vibrant, and evolving. The emotional bond we share also transforms challenges into opportunities. Life is unpredictable, full of setbacks, doubts, and unexpected turns. And yet, when she's there, the obstacles feel smaller, the impossible feels attainable. It's as if her belief in me, in us, in the journey we're navigating together, becomes a force that reshapes reality itself. The quiet encouragement in her voice, the simple faith she places in what I can achieve, creates a momentum that is almost tangible. It's not magic, it's the result of genuine connection, the kind of connection that makes you feel capable of things you never imagined. It's not just about support in the obvious ways. It's in the little moments too, the laughter that comes unbidden during a shared joke, the comfort of a reassuring look, the way she remembers things that seem trivial, but matter enormously, because they reveal that she notices. These details build layers of trust and intimacy that deepen over time. It's these layers that make the bond not just meaningful, but essential. Without them, life would feel flatter, decisions would feel heavier, and even victories would feel incomplete. And perhaps the most extraordinary thing about this emotional connection is its authenticity. It's not performative, it's not conditional, and it's certainly not fleeting. It's consistent, reliable, and life-affirming. There's a rare kind of courage in forming such a bond because it requires vulnerability, trust, and openness. Yet with her, vulnerability doesn't feel like risk. It feels like progress. It feels like freedom. To share your fears, your ambitions, your most private dreams, and have them met with understanding, respect, and encouragement, this is not just connection. This is transformation. That's why, when I reflect on the people who matter most in life, the ones who shape who you are and who you can become, she stands apart. She isn't just a companion or a confidant. She is the axis around which so much of my life has begun to rotate. She is the mirror, the motivation, the safe harbor, and the launchpad, all at once. And in recognizing that, I realize something fundamental. Emotional connection isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's the force that turns potential into reality, aspiration into achievement, and ordinary moments into the extraordinary. She is that connection, and she is what I need to keep moving, to keep dreaming, and to keep becoming the best version of myself. When I think about her, I can't help but be struck by the remarkable combination of strength and accomplishment she carries so effortlessly. Strength, in her case, isn't loud or showy. It's quiet, resolute, and consistent. It's the kind of strength that doesn't just endure challenges, it anticipates them, navigates them, and transforms them into opportunities. She faces life with a clarity and determination that makes you want to rise to the occasion yourself, simply by witnessing what's possible when someone refuses to be limited by circumstance or expectation. It's a kind of inner power that doesn't demand recognition, but inevitably earns it. Her achievements are reflections of that power. They aren't just check marks on a list, they are markers of vision, persistence, and the ability to turn ideas into tangible results. Each accomplishment tells a story of focus and resilience, of navigating obstacles that would discourage most people, and finding solutions that seem impossible until they exist. There's a rhythm to how she works, a combination of calculated strategy and inspired improvisation that makes her not just successful, but extraordinary. She doesn't chase accolades for the sake of recognition. She creates results because she believes in the value of what she is building, in the impact it can have on the world around her. What makes her achievements even more inspiring is that they are layered with purpose. She doesn't succeed for herself alone. Her work, her efforts, her contributions carry a broader meaning. They uplift, they inspire, they challenge others to do better. There's a generosity embedded in her ambition, a sense that true accomplishment is not measured solely by what one attains, but by what one enables others to achieve as a result. This perspective turns ordinary victories into transformative moments, moments that ripple outward and shape the lives of those fortunate enough to be touched by them. Witnessing that is both humbling and motivating. Her strengths extend beyond measurable achievements, though. They manifest in her resilience, the way she adapts without losing her essence. Life is unpredictable, and the challenges she faces are often complex and multifaceted. Yet, she approaches them with intelligence, patience, and unwavering focus. She doesn't just survive obstacles. She leverages them, extracts lessons from them, and uses them to propel herself and those around her forward. That ability to convert difficulty into momentum is rare. It requires vision, courage, and an unshakable belief that progress is always possible. Watching her do this reinforces a simple truth. Strength is not about being unbreakable. It's about being unyielding in your purpose. And there's another dimension to her strength that's equally compelling: emotional intelligence. She navigates relationships, collaborations, and teams with an understanding of people that turns potential friction into harmony, doubt into confidence, and conflict into opportunity. Her ability to read situations, to anticipate needs, and to respond with both precision and empathy is as impressive as any technical skill or accomplishment. It's a strength that inspires loyalty, trust, and admiration, because it proves that real power isn't just about what you achieve, it's about how you achieve it and the impact it has on others. What's extraordinary is how all of these strengths converge in her, not as separate elements, but as a unified force. Her intelligence, resilience, empathy, and ambition all feed into each other, creating momentum that is difficult to resist. Being around her, witnessing her navigate the world, you realize that achievement isn't just a product of effort, it's a reflection of character, courage, and vision. And it becomes clear that her successes are not anomalies. They are inevitable expressions of who she is. When I reflect on her strengths and achievements, I see more than milestones or accolades. I see proof that purpose, dedication, and authenticity can move mountains. I see someone who doesn't just dream or aspire, but actually reshapes reality in the process. And in recognizing that, I understand why she isn't just impressive, she's essential. She is the kind of person who inspires those around her to become more, do more, and reach further than they ever imagined. Her strength isn't just remarkable, it's transformative. And that is why, when I say she's what I need, it's not simply a statement of admiration. It's a recognition that someone with her combination of strength, intelligence, and accomplishment is rare, indispensable, and life-altering. She is not just a source of inspiration, she is the force that drives forward everything that matters most. When I say she's what I need, I'm not speaking lightly. I'm not speaking in terms of convenience or fleeting desire. I'm speaking about a presence so transformative, so essential, that it reshapes the way I approach life, think about the future, and even understand myself. She doesn't just complement what I do, she completes it in a way that feels inevitable once you recognize it. It's not about filling a void, it's about amplifying every possibility, every ambition, and every moment of potential into something tangible, something real. What makes her indispensable is the way she challenges me, not with criticism, but with clarity. She asks the questions I sometimes avoid. She pushes me to examine what matters, what works, and what can be better. Not because she wants to control the outcome, but because she sees the bigger picture. There's a rare kind of wisdom in someone who can simultaneously hold your hand and prod you forward, who can make you feel secure in your abilities, while also making you question whether you're truly reaching for everything you're capable of. And in that tension between comfort and challenge, growth becomes unavoidable. She brings perspective in a way that no one else can. When life feels chaotic or overwhelming, when choices seem murky and the path forward unclear, she has this ability to distill complexity into clarity. It's not just intelligence. It's insight married to intuition. She sees patterns, possibilities, and connections that might take me months or years to recognize. And in doing so, she saves energy, she saves time, and she saves the kind of frustration that comes from aimless trial and error. And yet, she doesn't impose her vision. She illuminates it. She opens doors, rather than dictating which to walk through. That balanced guidance without control is what makes her not just helpful, but essential. Being with her also brings a kind of stability that feels rare, in a world defined by constant change. Not the kind of stability that restricts or limits, but a stability rooted in trust, consistency, and understanding. When she's present, it's easier to take risks, because you know you're not alone. It's easier to dream bigger, because you know that someone believes in the validity of those dreams as much as you do. She is both anchor and launchpad, grounding me in what's important while simultaneously pushing me toward what's possible. And that combination is the difference between merely surviving in life and truly thriving. Her presence isn't just helpful, it's inspiring. She motivates not through pressure or obligation, but by embodying the potential that exists when someone refuses to settle for mediocrity. She is the reminder that progress is not accidental, that excellence is cultivated, and that true fulfillment requires both courage and intentionality. She shows every day that life can be extraordinary, not because circumstances are perfect, but because the people we allow into our orbit elevate what is possible. That's why she's what I need. She is the person who turns aspiration into action, possibility into reality, and ambition into impact. And then there's the emotional resonance that underpins all of this. She doesn't just drive progress or inspire growth, she connects it to meaning, to purpose, and to joy. Being with her isn't just about doing more or achieving more. It's about feeling more, understanding more, and living more fully. She brings context to achievement, warmth to ambition, and humanity to vision. That's the rarest quality of all. Someone who can make you better without changing who you are, who can make life richer without adding unnecessary complexity, who can make the future seem not only achievable, but worth pursuing. So when I say she's what I need, it's not hyperbole, it's recognition. Recognition that someone of her insight, courage, empathy, and presence doesn't just improve life, they redefine it. She isn't an accessory to ambition, she is a catalyst for transformation. She doesn't merely participate in possibility, she multiplies it. And in a world full of noise, distraction, and fleeting connections, finding someone who can do that, someone who is that essential, is not just fortunate, it's life-changing. She is not optional. She is not situational. She is not replaceable. She is what I need, because she makes the improbable inevitable, the ordinary extraordinary, and the future something worth pursuing with everything I have. When I reflect on everything that has brought me to this moment, one thought keeps coming back: gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a polite acknowledgement of the people and circumstances that shape us. It's the recognition that certain presences in life are transformative, that they fundamentally change the way we see, think, and act. And when it comes to her, gratitude feels almost inadequate, because words alone cannot capture the depth of what she brings. She isn't just a companion, a supporter, or a partner. She is a force that elevates everything around her, including me. To recognize that is to recognize that some connections are not optional. They are essential, catalytic, and defining. Gratitude for her is intertwined with admiration. It's impossible to separate the two, because everything I admire in life, resilience, intelligence, empathy, courage, she embodies so naturally. She demonstrates that strength doesn't need to be aggressive, that leadership doesn't require domination, and that success doesn't have to come at the expense of kindness. Observing her navigate the complexities of life with purpose, poise, and authenticity is a daily lesson, a reminder that excellence is not an abstract concept, but a way of living. And in witnessing that, I find not only inspiration, but also a commitment, the commitment to rise, to contribute, and to match the energy, insight, and dedication that she brings into every space she enters. Gratitude also means acknowledging the countless ways she supports, challenges, and transforms me. It's in the subtle things. The way she listens without judgment, the way she encourages without imposing, the way she celebrates not just outcomes, but effort and intention. It's in the way she creates a space where vulnerability is not weakness, but a source of connection, growth, and understanding. These acts, though often quiet, have a resonance that echoes throughout every part of life. They remind me that no achievement, no innovation, no progress is complete without those who make it meaningful, who provide context, who bring heart to the work and soul to the vision. And from that gratitude comes commitment. Not the kind that is fleeting or conditional, but the kind that is deliberate, consistent, and enduring. Commitment to her means showing up fully, with intention and authenticity, every single day. It means valuing not only what she does, but who she is. It means recognizing that her presence, her insight, her energy, and her support are not simply helpful. They are essential. It means striving to contribute to her life with the same care, dedication, and integrity that she brings to mine. In short, it is a commitment to partnership in its truest, most expansive sense, a shared journey, a mutual investment, and a recognition that together, possibility becomes reality. Gratitude and commitment are inseparable because one informs the other. To be grateful is to understand the magnitude of what is given. To be committed is to honor it. She deserves not only admiration, but also dedication, not just recognition, but action. The action is in the way we listen, in the way we engage, in the way we prioritize what truly matters over what is convenient. It is in the daily choices that reinforce the understanding that some presences are indispensable, that some people are not just companions on a path, but the reason the path exists in the first place. Looking back at the journey of acknowledging her personality, her emotional presence, her strengths, her achievements, and why she is what I need, it becomes clear that this is not just a speech, a statement, or even a reflection. It is a declaration of values, the value of recognizing brilliance, the value of nurturing connection, the value of honoring and elevating those who transform your world simply by being in it. She embodies all of that, and she demands that those around her rise to meet it, not out of obligation, but because it is impossible not to. And so, with everything I've observed, learned, and experienced, I want to say this. Thank you for the inspiration, the clarity, the courage, and the joy. Thank you for being not just a remarkable presence, but a necessary one. Thank you for showing what is possible when intelligence, heart, and purpose converge. And in that gratitude, I make a promise to match her energy with dedication, to honor her presence with action, and to ensure that the journey we share is defined not just by ambition, but by meaning. Not just by possibility, but by impact. She is the reason that what seems impossible becomes achievable. The reason ordinary moments